Okay, so let's get it on. This is a bit of a big drop, right? There's something crazy going on, which has caused quite a lot of bother. We absolutely nailed the order block earlier on, by the way. Let's get rid of that. Let's get our trading panel up. Well, let's see what we can do on the micros at the moment. A little bit of consolidation here. We are, I believe that is the weekly low, right? Yeah, weekly low. So that held to the, well, I'm not sure actually if that was previous weekly low or what. Doesn't really matter. We've had a big sell-off, right? So let's see what we can do. Big expansion on the VWAPs. Just brighten my PC a second. It's better. Hope everyone's good. Hope no one got caught up in that big drop. Or maybe you actually made some good money, which is awesome if you did. Well done. Well played. My stats today, currently traded some of the London session, $348 up. Nearly at 59k for my 50k account, which is great. I feel like the market's not done yet though. Let's see what we can do if we can get to tap into that third standard deviation. Oh, shut up. Let's see what we can do. Just watching the volume. Phew. We consolidated in Asia, took the high in London via the manipulation, and now this is, you know, the big sell-off. I expect to bounce back into the range before another big sell-off to close the day out. I think this is the rollover day, right, as well. So last day of the March. Thank you. Is this the 10? Look at the volume. It's not giving me confidence. Don't want to be going long here yet. That volume's not high, right? It's just don't want to be going long here. I think this is still a trap for the bulls. Unless volume picks up. It finished higher. Continue to pick up. So I didn't want to go to start longing yet. I don't think the volume's been significant enough to demonstrate a push to the upside. So we just be patient, right? Kind of trailing this second standard deviation at the moment. I'd like it to burst beyond that. Come and start tagging here. We only need to go low. This is I've requested my payout with Apex, so I've got to be careful not to do anything too stupid, right? There's the 18k mark there. What does the weekly, let me just take this off one real quick second and let's see what they look like here. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Midweek reversal, right? Wednesday here, made the high. Usually it's the opposite way, and this is the first time in a long time it's been a bearish week. Look at the weekly. I know it finished lower, but even the week prior, we still made a new high. We've not made a new high at all this week, which is a telling tale, I think. Anyway, we're not here to swing trade. So we have news in, well, relatively soon, which is the preliminary UOM consumer sentiment. I think that's the Michigan report, right? So be interesting to see how that has an effect. Wow. Really just wants blood. It's just a trap. Buyers are certainly stepping in, but it's whether there's a and there's a growing volume. Tempted to chance a long here. Wait for it to give me a little bit of a retrieval. Just looking at the volume here. Go long.
Order filled.
There's the fill. Take this news off. Let's declutter that. Just take that off. I'll leave that on. That's just one micro. That's crazy, isn't it? You can actually make a lot of money just with micros. Really can. Just gonna have my just wait, drop back down a little bit more. I'll scale in with another micro, I think.
Yeah, gee, I agree. 25, 30-point candles, I'm not a fan of that either. It's so difficult to see if it has what's VA with Apex? 2000. Penalty. Darren, just take it slow, man. Hey, lovely trades. How we doing? Good morning. Good to see you. What trade software I use? I use the Rebel Conto trade software. And I still am struggling with my calls today. For some reason,
Seems like the selling pressure's starting to wane a little bit. It's whether the buyers want to step in though, take control.
Feeling up and I start coughing and then I can't seem to stop. It's so frustrating. Secure 3 days for payout. Let's go, G.
Yeah.
Order filled.
Good morning, Adam. Good morning. Good morning, Sin City Futures. Just passed all Saturday VAs. Let's go, Sin City Futures. Nicely done. That's awesome. Actually put in a balance. Are we gonna bounce here, or is this thing is gonna keep going lower? I don't trust it.
Want to start to see an increase in the volume here now. We've seen a tailing off of the short selling, so I kind of feel like hopefully the sellers are done. Right, it's a nice bleed off. Certainly a big run from the VWAP. Took out the weekly low. Took out Asia. Big sell off, and we've had it's been a midweek reversal, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Got to be careful over a couple of minutes out, aren't we? Do we really want to be holding on to news with the consumer sentiment? I'm thinking, where are we at? I ought to just get out.
Order filled.
Right. I'm just shy of 59k, which isn't bad on my 50k account. So right now, I think it's probably going to bobble around waiting for that consumer Michigan report, right? So we'll just see. Anyone currently trading at the moment? Why did I let that go? It was obviously going to rip up, right? Shouldn't complain, really. Today, by the way, I put my first ever payout to Apex funded trader. 10 trading days. Really happy about that, to be completely honest. You can see here, took my account up to just shy of 59k. That was 50k PA. So I've also built a nice buffer there as well. So even if you can only take 2k out, right? So once you take that 2k out from Apex, that'll drop me down to, well, 56, just shy of 57, which is a really good buffer to do another 10 days worth of trading, aiming for $200 to $300 a day. So that's the way you do it, right? Also going to get some PA accounts, not PA accounts, sorry, some evaluations as well. I want to make sure that I'm trying to build up. But it's Friday. There's a lot going on today. It's the end of, well, it's the rollover day, isn't it? Final day. OPEX as well.
Especially on the accounts that are really close to the payout. I just don't want to get any stupid. Nothing stupid today. I actually did something stupid I did something stupid overnight. I was gonna wait to share it in the recap video, but I might as well share it. The account that was in drawdown, I think we had like $1,500 left of drawdown. Yeah, I put on one of that overnight trades, trying to recover it. I was looking for like a $600. I had a pretty big profit target on it.
Back in a second, guys.
It didn't happen. We only had 15 accounts left. But all of them, we had 3 accounts that are still need to get their payout that are literally $30 away. Once we get that across, then we will have our $30 for the month in payout secured, and I am more should I have your discipline, sir, or panties? You know.
Whew. Right, where are we? Let me get myself oriented. 1 second. If we couldn't have got watching the stream, guys, ask me anything about funded challenges, any questions you might have regarding Apex Trader funding or anything like that. If you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Not been a bad start to the day. Currently $358 up. Currently trade me PA. But lost 3 vals today. Ridiculous it was. I've been trading really, really well on the PA account, which is the one you would really want to trade well on, to be completely fair. However, I went a little bit too gung-ho earlier on when the London session opens up, and it took out Asia high, and I thought, you know what, this is going to come down soon. So I started scaling in, then I continued to scale in, and I was trading 3 accounts at the same time on Trader8, which I was just waiting for that fallback. It just didn't come. It didn't come. And then when we got right near the top, I switched to my PA account and then started shorting, and it just dropped. Very lucky and caught. But I was only in about 2 micros. It was not really anything too heavy, and caught some nice trades on the PA, but failed on the evals. So next port of call will be to get some more evals, or maybe just reset the existing ones. It worked out, I think it was like $35 for the evaluation, which isn't that much, right? It's not too bad. But it's going to be interesting. I've never had a payout from Apex, so it's going to be a case of if you're international or you're UK based, you've got to go through a new payment vendor called Plane, Plane. Don't know if anyone's ever heard of Plane, but it's or anyone's had an experience of withdrawing with Plane, but I've not. So we'll see. Just waiting for the email. Okay, consumer report ready in 1 minute. Let's see. 41 seconds to go. I don't know. I mean, we've had a big sell-off, haven't we? So we'll see. $16 seconds. Ugh. Forecasted 76.9, come in at 76.5, so lower. I have no idea what that means, I have to be honest. Is that good, bad, indifferent? Don't know. But we're already pretty low, aren't we? So maybe that was being priced in initially. We'll see. Just don't want to trade just yet because I don't know how this is going to react. So we'll see. Thanks, William. Good luck to you as well, matey. Are you trading at the moment? Appears to be good anyway, that's for sure. It's just the volume. Volume's not great. Like to see if it comes back down to the second standard deviation. Bitcoin, nice. I used to trade Bitcoin exclusively. It's all I've used to trade, just pure Bitcoin with Bybit, and then I had to move to MEXC. And then a friend of mine said to me, because I think with Bitcoin it's one of those tokens, one of those trades that just has a habit of bigger manipulation. I think liquidity is powerful. There's always loads of liquidity on Bitcoin. There's no doubt about that. But the problem is, what I found is depending on what, there's lots of liquidity providers, right, for Bitcoin. Myriad of different liquidity providers, and depending on who you're trading with, you don't know how much gets manipulated, right? But with CME futures, there's only one broker, right? So there's no manipulation, as it were. You know, everyone's on the same level playing field, and I've found with futures specifically and prop firms, by the way, it's just insane. And I think with Apex, you know, there's a way to trade Apex because it's trail and drawdown, and so I think with trail and drawdown, you know, you need to scalp in and scalp out. It's not really a way to trade intraday and hold on, in my opinion, because it goes against you. So I've really changed the way I trade, specifically with the type of system. So this is purely what I do. My trading style is I'm focused on the session VWAP, right? So where are we in relation to what you'd perceive as where value is, you know, the true value of this is NQ, right? Currently trading micros, but as we start to kind of hug the outer layers or the standard deviations on a bell curve, you know, the likelihood and chance it remains there is not, it's not a foregone conclusion. So there's I tend to wait until we start to target these areas here. You can see here, actually, this was this is exactly how I traded the session earlier, right? So you can see I tagged in at the third standard deviation here. I had to hold on. Obviously, I went into drawdown here, but the further away we were getting and the further we were going to this third standard deviation, the higher likelihood we were going to get a reversal. So I got out here, ends up being, you know, not a bad little profit. I hadn't traded since then. Took a couple of longs down here, got out here. Don't really need to hold on to these too long rather. But yeah, Forex, for me, never traded Forex. I suppose I should try at some point just to see what it's like. Yeah, no, that's yeah. I mean, I've got a full-time job. I don't trade for a living. But you know, this is my first payout with Apex, and so I realise now that, you know, the way to work these is to have multiple accounts, right? So the maximum payout is a $2,000 payout on a 50k account. So here we go. If you've got like 6-10 accounts waiting for payout, then that's not too bad, right? Because that's 10k if you can do it, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do it. I'm not even a great trader, by the way. Far from it. So if I can do it, fucking anyone can do it. Trust me. Okay, so where are we? Again, coming close to the second standard deviation. I'd like it to come deeper though. We've got there's only small amounts of liquidity here, but these are all market structure lows. We've taken the weekly low, or the previous week low rather. Considering going long, but not yet. volume's still high. What I'm looking for here is a waning of volume, right? So waiting for the sellers to step away. Right now, they're just, it's too strong. There's a way to trade this here, and just diving in now is a little bit foolish. So we continue to wait. Still strength in this, isn't he? Sell-off is not done yet. I work from home. So whilst I can kind of manage both, right? I can do my job and also trade. I don't tra I'm not trading every day. It depends on the type of activity. If I'm working from home, I can usually kind of get in and get out. But again, I'm not looking for big wins, right? Today I've made $358 so far. If you think logically about it, right, you've got to trade for 10 days straight before the payout. So when you get a PA account with Apex, you have to trade for 10 days, right? And then within them 10 days, as long as you're above your above the threshold, then you can take your payout, right? So really, what if you think about it and break that down, that's $200 a day. $200 a day is $2,000, obviously, over the 10-day period. And so, you know, you should have conviction to be able to make $200 a day with the Nasdaq. On the 50k accounts, you can trade up to 10 mini contracts or 100 micros. I mean, that's a lot, right? There's a lot. You know, you only have to move a few points to scale in. What do you do, William? Do you work? Are you a full-time trader? What do you say you work? Sorry. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? I mean, that's where swing trading really helps. I'm assuming you're with a broker who, or you're with a prop firm. Does the prop firm allow you to hold trades overnight? I know with Apex you can't. There are other ones though. There's I think is it ETF Elite Trader Fund, and they have I think they call it the Diamond Hands account, which allows you to trade overnight. I'm liking the look of this move now. I'd like this to come back down a little bit. Might have missed it.
Order filled.
Here's the fill. You feel a difference in the buyer stepping in. You can like, you know, that, well, whether it's sellers stepping away or buyers stepping in, it feels like a quick, distinct change, and you just feel it in the way the market starts to move. I do recommend using them. The reason I recommend using them is because they are the best payers. In my opinion, you know, you've got to figure out the system, right? You can't, like, the system in itself, you've got to understand that the trail and drawdown is going to get you. If you've got a very aggressive way that you trade, then you know it's gonna catch you out.
Order filled.
And so you've got to know how the system works. So for me, you know, I tend to trade the valuations pretty aggressively, and when it comes to the PAs, you know, I'm literally looking to scalp, you know, 6 to 10 points. I've just took a small scalp there. That took me to 59k, $413 for the day. It's just knowing that you don't need to go nuts, right? You don't need to go for the Hail Marys, especially when the market's this bearish. I'm just looking for move back to the upside. But to the point about Apex, I mean, look, what's the cost, right? A 50k account, what's that going to cost you? It's not 90% off. It's currently 80% off on 1 day pass. That means that, you know, you trade, and then you get an evaluation. So you're going to pay $35 for the 50k, which, right, it's the single best account simply because the drawdown on a 50k is 2,500. That's the trading drawdown, but the profit target is 3,000. It's not quite a 1-to-1, right? So, but it's not far off. The moment you go into the 100k, you only get a $3,000 drawdown, but you've got to make $6,000. So you've got to double you've got to double your threshold for the sake of an extra $500 drawdown. It's just not worth it. Now you look at me, so where I am now on this current account here, this is a 50k, right? I'm currently at 59k. I lose this account when I go $50,100. So now I don't my threshold's no longer trailing. It doesn't trail anymore because I'm at that point where it's gone above I think it's 52,700. After that, it stops trailing, which is great because now I've now got nearly $9,000 worth of trailing drawdown. That it gives me that big buffer, so I can kind of hold on to a little bit if I want to. But what served me so well is just trading like this. So for me, I wouldn't look beyond the 50k because if you can grow an account, you should be aiming to get a 50k account past the eval and then grow that to, you know, get a buffer, get to 53k, 54k, take a payout. I was lucky, right? This is the 10th day of trading for me on this account, and I've 9,000 in 10 days, just shy of $900 on average per day, right? Is what I've effectively made roughly. But that's got me to a really solid position. So even when I take this payout, they'll take 2,000 away from that they'll pay me out on, and I'll be left with 57k. So I could trade, you know, micros and just do like $100 a day and then make another payout, which would take me down to 54k. And that's still a good enough buffer to keep going on again. So it if you take like a 150k account as an example, you've got to turn that into a 9k profit. Right? You've got to get a 9k profit in order to turn that into a past evaluation. And I think that the drawdown on that is 4k. So again, I still like that account because you get 4k's worth of drawdown. But you know, think of that. 4k drawdown on a 150k account. I've got a 50k account with 9k's worth of drawdown now, just because I've built it up and I've got no trailing drawdown no more. So that's the difference. A 50k account is the way to go. $35 you would get it at now if you bought an account with Apex. It's 35k. Sorry, $35, 35k. And then, yeah, I'm using TradingView to trade as you can see here. I've just took my trade with on this platform here. So when you look at TradingView, so just so you're aware, this is your TradingView panel, right? So you can see here I'm on Tradeovate, so you know it's a real account and not a paper trading account. The total P&L is your P&L for the day. That shows you what you're currently at for the day, any open or closed positions. This is what you've got as your total liquidity, right? Same as the available margin, $59,051. I'm not sure what these are. Don't worry about them. But if I open a trade, you'll see it. It'll open up in this panel here. KYC. What do you mean KYC? It's Are you from where are you from, William? The States or UK or Europe or somewhere? Where are you from? So you'd be the same as me. So there is no KYC that so you just well, I don't actually know the process at the moment because I've only requested my first payout today. But when they approve your payout, they send you a link to it's called Plane, Plane. No, so have you ever accessed the ATF website, Apex Trader Funding website? It's just you have to once you've bought an evaluation, you go through you don't have to put any information in for the evaluation. If you for a PA account, you have to sign an agreement, and then after you've signed an agreement, you do it. There's like a signature thing. You have to put your passport number in. So like in terms of tax and stuff like that, like what I will do when I get that $2,000, I will put 20% 20% of that into a tax account that earns me interest, right? And then at the end of the year, I will pay the taxes from whatever withdrawals I make over that period of time. There's no KYC information. I didn't see any KYC stuff. But they've been going for, I think, 3 years, maybe 4 years. They're probably the biggest prop firm for futures. And I've not seen any negative issues in terms of payment or unscrupulous nature. Just let me. No, I don't think they don't ask you about any KYC stuff. Yeah, give it a shot. And good luck, my friend. Also, come and join our Discord server, completely free. If you're not already, I think the link should be in the description. Also, the link to the, if you would be so kind, if you decide to use Apex Trader Funding, helps me out by using my link. You still get the same discount. But you don't need to neither. But just so you know, the payout window is between now and the 20th of March. So if you bought an account now, don't race it. Don't try and rush it because you wouldn't meet the payout window this period anyway. Because you obviously, even if you manage to convert an account today into a PA account, which is the payment account, right, which is trading on a PA. After the evaluation, you've got to trade 10 days, and then that way you get. But the next payout window is between the 1st and the 5th. So between the 1st and the 5th of every month and the 15th and the 20th of every month, Apex does their payout windows where you can request your payout, but as long as you are, within the parameters of what they require. How would you say your trading style is, William? How would you define the way you trade? Are you kind of smart money concepts, ICT kind of trader, or are you more levels, liquidity based? How would you define the way you trade?
Well, yeah, that's the method of volatility. Yes, it is competitive, but it's just a glitch. It's a visual glitch. Yeah, it's just a visual.
Yeah, it's annoying the way it's kind of been defined, hasn't it, as a way to trade. Like liquidity, there's never really been liquidity and imbalances. Look up auction theory. Auction theory is essentially smart money concepts just rebadged.
Okay, but yeah, also because
But what a Friday! I tell you what. Usually you think that Fridays is normally all the investment bankers and the hedge fund managers and all that. It's Friday and they're all out on the piss. Not today, though. Jeepers creepers. They've really come in strong today. Plenty of volume. It's big news day, though, wasn't it? To be fair. What broker do you use for your forex trading? And what profit? What's your current profit? I used to trade stocks years ago with IG when I had no idea about what markets even were. I just thought, ooh, trading. I like to gamble. I'll have a go with that. Got my ass tore and delivered to me on a silver platter. I think I put $200 in. I thought, right, this is the way we do it. Right, this is how all the big boys trade, and I'm just gonna do it. Didn't even have a clue what I was doing. It took me a long time to be able to trade. Kelly criteria, nice. Feels like a little bit of engineered liquidity occurring here on this little move. Is the move to the upside before the downside or the downside to the upside? We shall see. I think the aim's got to be the VWAP here though, hasn't it, really? This weekly VWAP has been such a solid performer. It's acted as resistance and support. I'm not going to go that far back, but it's acted as support a lot as well. It's been quite a nice range to trade from. These movements here, there's not a lot of volume happening, but the ease of movement tells me that sellers are stepping away. So there's a potential to buy. I'm not going to catch it here. I just want to make sure that this isn't a trap for the liquidity here. I only trade Nasdaq. and I would say my trading strategy or style is, when it comes to scalping, I look for where most pain is delivered. Try to put myself on both sides of the fence and try to say, where is the maximum amount of pain that can be delivered here? And so mainly thinking about the trap. So what I like to see is a big run on liquidity somewhere, and then a big response to that, so that you catch those people that have had the stop losses triggered, and those who are trying to catch the breakout, and then wait for that reversal, and then those who are on the breakout who have now been reversed is really where I'm thinking, well, to liquidate those positions, price is going to start to move up a little bit. And in all honesty, you've got to just imagine yourself, specifically with CME futures and market makers and everyone alike, they get a portion of the spread, right? Which I'm sure you well know, to provide liquidity at every price point. And so, the whole point is to try to execute as many orders as humanly possible. That's the job, right? Catch the spread, get a percentage of the spread, and try to maximize the amount of orders that get held. So those traps is really where I try to focus on. But I also think it's not enough to just be good at TA. I think being good at TA is one element. Having a level of understanding on fundamentals is the other element, right? So knowing that fundamentals drive the markets, and TA is all about execution, right? Where to get in. But I think there's a big proportion of good trading. Number one is risk management, right? But the other element is market IQ, and I don't think that that's something that you just have. I think it's something you acquire over a longer period of time, and so that's nothing can replace just staring at charts day in, day out, watch on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, whatever time frame you want to talk about, just watching how things happen, watching the moves, seeing how the traps are set, how price expands, how price comes back into a range. That is just, you've just got to take that. You've just that just comes with experience and time, right? So a little bit of all of that, I'd probably say, is how I trade. But if I'm swing trading and I'm doing longer stuff, then again, it's targeting. It's I like to look at previous day's highs, previous day lows, those big liquidity pools, session highs like Asia high, Asia's low. I'm very much subscribed to this idea of consolidation, manipulation, expansion via distribution or accumulation, depending upon whether it's a buyers or a seller's market. But I like that kind of stuff. I'm always keyed into, right? Which is why, if I just show you the way my charts are set up, I go to, I'll take this off because I don't want it to be ugly. But you can see here, I like to have weekly high, previous day high, previous month high, previous day low, previous week low, weekly low, and month low, right? These are the levels that I always constantly update. But then I like to look at the session ranges, right? So, what I always say is consolidation through Asia, very much the case. Manipulation from London, right? Kind of gets everyone thinking that price is going to continue higher, and then the distribution, and it's a it's a tried and tested pattern you see time and time again with within the three sessions, right? Consolidation, manipulation, accumulation, or distribution rather. You can see it again here. Asia consolidates, London manipulates, come back into the range, but then expands again back down into the New York session. So I mix a little bit of kind of that in and around scalping. So I may hold a position longer if I feel that the position is worthy of that. Once we've taken that liquidity, then I'm more happy to hold. I just change that back to the 1 minute. So we've taken the weekly low here, right, which makes me think price will probably start to come up again now. This is just obviously creating nice consolidatory range. I think probably I'd like to see we come and just take come squeeze down back into this weekly low and then expand higher again. I don't think there's any more news events now, is there? Let me just check. No, that's all the news for the day. That's the consumer report. Ooh, that's a really good question. That. Let me just take a minute to think on that. What inspired me to trade? I think I've probably got a bit of a gambler's nature about me, right? And I've always liked to have a flutter. But I think what I like about trading is, number one, there's money to be made, right? That's the biggest reason. There's a lot of money to be made if you're not stupid, and if you haven't got if you've got a good temperament, and you're okay being outside your comfort zone. And so those, but ultimately it's just about freedom. I think my aim and ambition genuinely is to build up my accounts with Apex and try to have, well, the maximum you can have is 20 funded accounts, right? So if you consider having 20 funded accounts and you're taking a payout on all 20 for $2,000, and there's loads of YouTubers that do it, by the way, and not just YouTubers, normal people. Like YouTubers aren't normal people. But that's the goal. So I wanted to make sure that I could trade in a way that favors the way their trading system works, because you don't. It's going to sound really bad, this, but I don't think you need to be a really good trader, right? Because micros. Yeah, here's a quick segue. I used to trade, so predominantly I used to trade minis all the time and wouldn't touch micros because I thought, well, mini is 10 micros, but it's heart attack here, right? It's flying on the seat of your pants. It's panic stations because you think, specifically if you're hovering around your point, and I scale in as well. So I like to, even if I'm in drawdown, but I still think the price is going to go my way, I'll scale in, right? That's my the way I'll trade. When you trade micros and you are in an area of value that you think is going to happen, it takes the pressure off, I think. And so I like to. I've found particularly that this style of trading with the ability to scale in and out with micros has been highly beneficial to the way I trade. So, as I say, that's my goal, and I guess the inspiration is really just to try to quit me 9 to 5, right? Be able to trade, share my story on YouTube to anyone who's daft enough to want to listen, and hopefully try to inspire others. Because is the catch? I'm just a normal boy from Liverpool, couple of kids, wife, all the usual stuff. Worked all my life. I was an apprentice. Left school. Worked as an apprentice for 3 years. Got a job as a heating engineer. Fortunate enough to work my way up the ladder a little bit. But I'm 41 now. But I wanna be in a position where I can kind of decide when I want to work, decide when I want to trade, all that kind of stuff. But that only comes from time and dedication, really. So, I think like a lot of things, and you hear this all the time about this 95% of traders fail and blah, 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 blah. I think they do, but I don't think that stat is, I think that stat is probably picking up anyone who's opened an account, put $1,000 in and lost it and thought that's not for me. I think like anything you've got to get good at. You've got to put the years in, right? You can't just turn up to the charts and expect to be a great trader. You've got to take your paper cuts. So I anticipate the price would come down a little bit to grab some liquidity before that move up. So that's a nice healthy bullish candle there. So I think I'm probably going to look to go long. I just want to see how this, whether this, because I think this is, you know, this the liquidity that's being generated here is probably going to have a few people in pain. So let's just go -4.
Order
I
filled.
think that's a good spot. I'll take it, William. I'll take it. Don't want this to finish orange. Don't finish orange. If this finishes orange, I'll probably get out. Yeah.
Order filled.
See what I was looking at there? See the orange candle there? Look at the volume. The volume's relatively high, but the size of the candle's not. So that tells you that sellers are stepping back in, preventing that price going up. Now, I'm not saying that that will be the case and it might end there, but that's the sense, right? There's absorption being applied where buyers are trying to push the price higher, but it's just hitting a dead wall. So you've got to be, when you're scalping these, this volume suite's ideal for that. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to grab a quick drink. Pricing continuing up. Don't know why internet keeps dropping out.
Having a couple extra charts open on your screen if you can. If it this shot chart on the screen.
Yeah, it's better. All right, where are we? 433 for the day. This price going to start rolling over. See all this nonsense here. I don't really want to be trading in. Next liquidity injection is in 15 minutes. Guys, what's the stream like quality wise? Is it looking okay? It's not blurry, is it, or pixelated? Next leg up. He's probably gonna go and try and tap the VWAP. See how it goes there. It's got rejected by the VWAP. Injection of liquidity in 10 minutes.
Order filled. Order filled.
See if I can take the liquidity below.
Order filled.
$50 scalp. You don't really need to hold on to these things too long. Yeah, do you know what? I wouldn't be a bad shout, that, William. I tend to normally do, to be fair. It's. I wonder if I can do that from here. I've normally, to be fair, I've normally got my full setup, which I have some non-copyright stuff in the background, which is good. You don't want to be hearing that dog yapping in the background, do we? Let's be honest. So where are we? 479 for the day. Not too bad. Not too shabby. We haven't gone into too much drawdown at all, so not you know, we're in good shape. It's a really, really, really good question. I'm kind of feeling I'm kind of feeling like that now, to be honest with you. You know, now would be a good spot. I try to aim for about $800, between $8 and $1,000 a day is my aim. If I get there, if I fall a bit short, you know, even if I have a lost day, I'm about halfway there now. I'm close to $500, but I've done it loads of times. I've traded really, really well in the AM session and then give a portion of it back in the PM session. I don't know why. It's just sometimes it's over trading, right? But equally, I'm trying to grow my channel a little bit. I'm trying to put a bit of education out there. Try to just show how I trade, what I do, allow people to ask questions. So I kind of feel like you've got to, if I just come on here and just look at charts and don't trade, it doesn't really bode well. I think people want to look at your sweat and how you manage trades. So it's not an easy thing to control. But, it's knowing when them triggers are there, right? That's the key. I'm wondering if there's a way I can, not without my full setup. No. In fact, let me see if I can do something. Do you hear any music by any chance? Hang on, let me see if I can. No, you won't, will you? Hang on. My file. Let me see. This is output. Okay. Let me see. How do I get the music on? That is playing. There you go. Okay. Let me go to sound. I'm guessing you can't hear that. Properties. Default. Sorry, William, I'm not sure how to do it. But I'm listening to some very zen music here right now. Settings. Output. Recording. No. General. Let's see what I can do here. MIDI. Sorry, matey. Oh yeah, I'll figure it out for next time. I will do. Because it would be better with a little bit of music just playing in the background. Do you tend to notice your triggers when you're overtrading? Do you know when you're overtrading? One, two, one, two. Yeah, that's better. Explain to me, Kelly risk criterion, please. I have actually heard of it, but it's not something I'm massively familiar with. All right, so it's more like scaling proportionate to your risk in terms of where you are with your. So like, as you start to build your account size higher, you can risk a bit more. As you start to lose, you reduce your risk. I just feel like the arse is going to drop out of this market. I feel like it's going for its next leg down. Yeah, I thought that was the case. I do like that. I watched a podcast recently by Mark. Oh, what's his second name? He's a guy from London. But he's really good trader. Been trading for years, and he talked about that, and I thought it's really smart that so the reduce your risk parameter each time if you're going into if your account balance is going smaller, reduce your risk and proportionally risk higher as your account size grows. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, so 1 out of every 3 will be a winner, and it's a 2.7 risk to reward. Very good. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. If you can keep your emotions in check and you can take a loss, you know, force yourself to take a loss. That's one of the hardest things, I think. Know when you're in the wrong, right? You have a thesis, you think you got it right, and if it's wrong, take the loss. I mean, I don't use a stop loss. I haven't used a stop loss for a long time. When I say I haven't used a stop loss, I don't manage my trade where I say, right, there's my entry, there's my stop, there's me risk to reward. But I will manually stop if I'm wrong. But I would much rather work my way out of a trade if I think I'm still right. But there's a point when you know you're wrong, right? And I think again, in terms of the way these accounts work, it's I think it favors you. It's hard to explain, but my risk management is the accounts, right? So if I've got like 3 evaluations, let me suppose if I've got 3 evaluations or 5 evaluations or whatever that would be, if I'm trading one of those evaluations and it's based upon the cost of the evaluations, it's $35. You've got to remember a lot of this. Once you've paid for an account, it's a realized loss, right? It doesn't matter whether you win, lose, or draw. You're never going to win or lose any more than what you can only gain. You can't lose anymore. If I lose an account that I paid $35 for, I've lost the account, right? That's just my mental thing that I think, well, I've paid for it already. It's already gone out my bank account. I'll never get that back. And so that's that. I think with prop firms, it's a fantastic way to think logically about it. What you're looking at here at the moment, at 59,000 there, it's just tokens, right? It's not real money. It's only real money once it's realized. Yeah, I do. I lose $35 if the account is blown. Absolutely right. But the risk to reward on that is that every trade I take is with the risk of blowing an account with $35. Now I'm not saying that that's the correct way to approach it, but if you need an emotional way to think logically, if I see an account that's down three, four, $500, $1,000, it's just tokens. It's not real to me. I don't think about it like it's real money. It is now, right? Like now I've got a PA account. That's for me. That's real money. And so if I lose that, that's a loss to me, which would be gutting because when to convert an account, you'd have to pay like $140 or whatever to have a PA account once you've passed an evaluation. So I just think it helps me manage risk better, not thinking about it as real money. It takes away that like feeling of being like it's my money or whatever it would be. Everyone's different though, right? They have a different threshold for pain and tolerance.
Order filled.
See, my mindset was this is a pullback and a continuation. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I will close this as a loss, but not at this stage. It's a one-off payment. You pay it once.
Order filled. I don't think you don't get a refund. No. For your evaluation. Which is a shame. That'd be nice. But you can write them off as tax. If you want, you can. So if you've got an LLC, well, a PLC as it would be, Order
or a
filled.
company name with that, with the fact that you trade, then you can write that off as a tax. Like now, I'm in drawdown, right? Now I would think if we break the low here, I would take that as a forced exit because there's a much more likely higher chance that we'll go lower, right? I just like the way this is rounding off here, though. In terms of the shape. Like this to really start skipping up now with a bit of volume, breakout, clear the liquidity above. Let's see, where are we? 63. I'd like this to continue higher. Nice pin bar. See, now normally this account here, if I was on a PA, that'd go into what my trail and drawdown, right, and it'd show as a trail and drawdown from your highest watermark. So because I'm so far ahead on me account balance, it's no longer trailing. So it doesn't matter if I go up, down, left, right, inside, out, or whatever. It's just going to do its thing, right? Might have to close it if it drops below, because even a little bit of a move. Let's see. Don't like it. See how this next candle responds. No.
Order filled.
Don't like it. Like, that was a forced one, right? But I just think the strength in that push down. I'm hoping it wasn't a liquidity grab. I'll be absolutely gutted. What a surprise. Where are we on that? Just over halfway. What's that? 333 for the day. Still not too bad. But you can see I feel like the bulls are starting to struggle a little bit. It's getting consolidated here. It just feels like it's ready to drop for another leg. Sometimes it's just better to take the loss, right? Not worth trying to hold on or even try and scale out of something like that. That just felt... That big candle was the clue. It was worth taking the loss on that one. We can always build again. Trouble is, where would it be going for? Where's the aim for where this could be looking to go? Let me just take this off a second. You see that's the last line of defense, right? This was where the liquidity, the equal lows. Beyond that, it's right the way down here, because there's not an awful lot of volume shelf here, I don't think. And so if price could theoretically continue right the way down there, down to that 17,600 level. I just don't want to be caught. but I still think it's got a chance to come back up.
Order filled.
This volume candle here, the green, the orange one, is really where I was focusing, because the candle size in relation to the volume is disproportionate, which potentially means volume is being stopped
Order filled.
or limits are being hit. Not to say it won't break through, could still absolutely break through, of course, but and again, if it wants to continue down, I'll just jump out. Wow, just bit of a tug of war going on here, right?
Order filled. Order filled.
It's at the 618 at the moment. Hoping for a reversal here. Yeah, took a trade. See this red candle here? I was in profit, and then it went. I took a forced manual stop, which, you know, not everything can be a winner. You've got to know when to get out of a trade when it's going sour, right? Ow. I don't particularly like this trade either, to be honest. The only thing is we're at the 618, but we're not looking too good. Bearish pressure feels strong. I'm going to try one more entry at the weekly just to see if it gives us an opportunity to reverse. But buyers are stepping in as well. It's a bit of a tug of war here. So we'll see. But it would be nice to see a continuation of a pullback. So
almost like an ABC. So that's at the 618 roughly now. So we need to see if it's going to act as a push to the upside where the buyers are stepping in. Like to see some commitments from the buyers. It's a nice candle. Hmm. That covers me losses so far, I think. Actually, I think it's more than me losses, right? But it feels like a good spot. That didn't. I can't make its mind up whether it wants to go up or down. But I know there's a lot of sellers trying to step in, and sometimes that's exactly what the market wants for fuel, right? So, we have to hold. Certainly a tug of war going on here, like. What we thinking, fellas? Up, down, left, right? Stay in the trade, get out of the trade. Pressure feels strong from the base, doesn't it? That's the problem. Hmm. If we take out the lows here, I'll close the trade. Come on, Bulls. Where are you guys? Let's get at it. Come on. Keep pushing. Nice. More energy, more passion. Come on, guys. Let's get at it. Little double bottom. Leave that little thing for later. You just keep pushing up and be a good boy for Uncle Apex. Just looks like it wants to keep going down.
Order filled.
Getting out of it. Didn't like it. Just probably going to keep going down. So back down to 240 for the day. I think my highest rate was about $500 odd. Just didn't fancy it. I wouldn't mind getting in on a low value though. I still think it's going to go up.
Order filled. Order filled.
4.
Order filled.
Just not got that right at all, have I? No, you're absolutely right. They're not. You just feel the bearish pressure just keeps on bearing down, doesn't it? But this looked like a trap, so I'm just hoping it wants to take advantage of that. Ugh. This management's been pants today. 1 minute time frame. Yes, I'll normally do 15 minute, but I've got me markers on the chart, right? So I know where like the previous week low, the daily high and stuff like that is. So they even though I'm on the 1 minute, I can still see where they are. So I didn't realize I had that off. Damn.
Just bleeding. Sellers is so strong today. I feel like I'm on the wrong side of the market. Should be out of this trade by now, really, if I'm honest. Yeah, his options expiry. Do you know what time they expire?
Order filled.
Oh shit, why's me thing gone off?
Order filled.
I'm taking that. Woo. Fuck me, that was a horrible trade to be in, I have to say. Ah, I ended up clawing back those losses from before. That was a horrible, horrible trade. That was the worst performance of risk management you should do. So you can see there I scaled in. So I was buying here. I took the loss there. Started buying here. Went right against me. And now I feel sick because now the market's gonna fucking roll over the other way. And you could see that I was adding into a losing order. The thing that I was thinking about, honestly, and the reason that I didn't close my trade, although I didn't say this live, but I think it's worth noting, was this fair value gap here. This imbalance. I thought we'll come to that, and then this would have been effectively the order block from earlier on. So this whole zone here was effectively an order block, which I was hoping, yeah, and we never know this. Dead honest, I was hoping it was gonna have some sort of a reprieve. That's the only reason I was holding on to that trade. Because to be completely honest, I should have been out of that a long time ago and took the loss. Whew. So back to parity. And William, you said before, how do you know when you're overtrading? That, my friend, was overtrading. That was just, stupid.
But let me just say one thing, right? That I think is an important thing to note here. When I've got 8K in terms of drawdown, the biggest drawdown I went into was about 200 and $280 maybe more. I can't remember what was the biggest drawdown. But I have $9,000 worth of drawdown, right? Which gave me some level of comfort to think how far I could go. And my aim is to try to stay as close to price action as possible in terms of where my average entry is. Because I only need, I mean, you've seen where the candle was in terms of it going bullish. Once I go a few points above, it was into the $200 range, right? That was how close it was in terms of being able to just. It can absolutely go the other way, of course, but when you have a much larger drawdown to play with, the emotions don't get as crazy as what they would do if it was real money, or if it was on a trailing drawdown where I knew it was going to get, I could be axed. Oh, fuck me. So I think I'm back to about parity. I can't remember what I was on before, if I'm honest. I think it was about $460, $470. No, it was $490. It's close to 500. So I'm slightly down, 474. But I'll take that. And I don't think I'm going to trade again today now. I've got the fear, and I know I'm over trading. So that's the trigger that I needed. Yeah, it's definitely still bearish. William, really appreciate you and all your comments and the conversation. It really makes the live stream a lot better when there's conversation. So thanks very much for having a little tete-a-tete, because it's nice when you've got people who are kind of in conversation with you. That's probably me done for the day, my friends. Okay, so I'm gonna probably sign off now. And again, just want to say thanks. And so I shall see you hopefully in the next one. I try and trade most days live where I can if I'm working from home. So I always post it in our Discord server. So I don't know if you're into Discord or whatever else, but there's few good traders in the server. So if you want to join the server, just come and say hi. That'd be great. Link should be in the description. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one, my friend. Have a good day and great weekend.